Thanks a lot. Marcin and Jan, we are from World of VR. We are focusing on distribution of an event distribution of virtual reality, solutions and ways actually to get to more people than just 10, 20 or 100. And in this context, not only our experience shows that VR, of course, is a great tool for experiencing, for sharing, for training, and so on. But still, it is a bit experimental in terms of the hardware and the solutions. So for a more mass distribution at events, at shows, it causes more problems actually than it should. And if we aspire to spread VR, to disseminate it more beyond gaming and technology enthusiasts, whom we are, of course, then we need rather to see how VR could and should solve problems instead of causing them. And one of them, or a few of them, actually are related closely to distribution.
Okay, so we have a lot of beautiful concepts of 360 video and 360 immersive movies. Then we have very nice content, very nice movies, but at the end we need to show it, yeah. And for us, this is the main problem: how to do it properly and how to reach masses.
And there are still many challenges in terms of smooth distribution. One of them is, of course, the relatively high cost of content production, and connected to this relatively high cost of reaching one client. So the cost per client, which ultimately needs to be calculated by marketers, by clients, companies, is relatively high if we spend a lot of money on producing the content and we show it only to 50, 100 or 300 people. But there are also challenges in terms of the hardware. This is still the best mobile device for presenting VR, experiencing VR at events. That's not only our experience, but one of the challenges is stinky VR. You have with the gears, you have these foams, nice foams, which actually you cannot use for 50 people on the same day. At one event in terms of sweat, makeup, and so on. So, fortunately, there are solutions like the VR covers that we also are producing, which can overcome this challenge. But also the mechanics are not easy. I mean, for us, for you, it's easy. We know how to operate it, but in reality, for someone who is not experienced, who is using it for the first time, and that's usually the case at open events, company events, whatever, the instruction is quite difficult. And when you have more gears, more participants at an event, 20, 100, 200, 2,000, then it really gets messy. That's what we also experience. We actually have run through at least 2 failures in these terms. We had a presentation to our clients of 360 degrees video to 2 people, and it was quite burdensome in terms of putting on, putting off, instructing them how to use it. Selecting the proper video, I mean, asking, what do you see? I don't see anything, it's black, should it be like this? During the playback, they were actually pausing by touching the touchpad of the gears. It was unnecessary stress for them, for us, and in the end, actually, they saw a wrong movie, not the one that we wanted to show them. The second failure was even more painful. It was like a corporate presentation for 20 people, and with 20 gears, and somebody couldn't launch it. It got disconnected. They actually, because they were experiencing it for the first time, they didn't know if it should be like this. We had a lot of staff actually to support it, and the speaker it was supposed to be synchronic. The speaker from the podium was actually useless because everyone was at a different moment in the show. So we actually realized that it's a bit like having at a corporate presentation many people, everyone with a different TV set, with a different remote controller, and they see it for the first time. They don't know actually how to operate.
Yeah. So the question is what to do if we would like, for example, to organize a premiere of the 360 movie, or we would like to go through the classes with some educational content, like, I don't know, take them to the Mars or whatever, or for example, we would like to show some movies during the film festival, which might cause also a lot of problems. And at the end, if you would like to have a really big number of visitors, of people who can watch something, and also what to do if we have a business presentation for even one person, but this is the very important person, this is the very important presentation for us, and at the end we need to teach this person how to use the goggles to see the content, and the content at the end is the most important thing, not to control the touchpad.
These are the challenges that some of you might know. The solutions, some of the solutions, of course, and you're well aware of it. You might put your content on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, and so on. That, of course, enlarges the outreach. But on the other hand, the quality of your hard work and great content actually goes down significantly in these channels. Plus, it's not really so immersive in terms of watching it on a desktop computer and scrolling by mouse and so on. You may, of course, create an app that everyone can download, but still the download numbers of the applications are not really huge. So. Some of the solutions that are already used and increasingly, not only in Europe but also elsewhere, are, for instance, VR arcades, and that's kind of a solution that also enables you and others who are producing good content to share it more widely. And also in terms of like a joint experience of a couple or a group of people, friends who want to see and experience VR at the same time. It's usually we might have one or two headsets at home, but it's usually unlikely that we have 5, 10, or 20 at home and could do it together as a shared experience with our friends. The VR cinemas, that's an example of one of them in Zurich, but also other places emerging, where you actually, again, can go with friends, with a group, and have a group experience of the best VR content, and that's also an interesting and a good channel for distribution of VR content. film festivals, like this one in Copenhagen and at CPH Docs, the documentary film festival, where we actually were managing the entire VIA cinema for 11 days. They're also an excellent place to distribute, to spread the message, to disseminate what you're doing. There will be as well at the film festival in Cannes in May. It's going to be as well kind of a VIA cinema in which we are participating partly. And at events. Still, again, if you don't have 20 or 50 or 200 headsets at home at your company, which is usually the case, then experiencing is possible and much better and easier at events simply. Could be entertainment events, corporate presentations, classrooms as well, or marketing campaign activation, for instance. And taking into account the experience and some of the failures that we actually experienced, we have come up with a solution for remote controlling of the gears from one device, plus playing and experiencing the content synchronically. So our idea and assumption was to move all the participants at the same time to the same VIA world, to have a bit less stress to participants in terms of experiencing, less staff needed to manage it, to be able to organize synchronic shows on many gears, like a kind of a multicast, with good flow and turnout of people at an event. Not that you have 10 gears and actually a long queue, and it really takes a lot of time to launch it. That's our solution called Showtime VR. It is relatively simple. It's already used by film festivals, VIA cinemas, schools, museums, wherever you need to do it remotely. Take full control over the gears, block the touchpad, and manage it from one device, from one tablet. You can manage and monitor the playback and the gears on which it's played. So it's already working. We've been selling and installing this system for 5 months already, and in Europe, elsewhere in Australia, in United States, and so on. Even for a very simple use, like Marcin said, you want to present your content to your clients, so like only on one gear, but also for larger events. Yeah, I think this and the other solutions, they might actually overcome some of the limitations and the technical barriers that this hardware in the system has, which of course was meant to be consumer item, and at least at the beginning not meant to be used for big presentations, corporate presentations, and so on. But it is a perfect solution for this. So also an option if you use some of the tricks and tools for a good and smooth distribution. Yeah. Thank you.